Hey guys, bringing you today a container garden video for apartment dwellers on a budget with very little room. Hope you like it. I didn't putting all the dirt into all the buckets on the video because I figured that's pretty self-explanatory, but in case you don't know, I fill it up about halfway, lightly tamp it, fill it up the rest of the way, lightly tamp it, and then put a little loose layer on top for the seeds to start in. Because once they get a little bigger, that little bit of tamping down I done it inside there won't make a difference because the roots will penetrate it easily. Now I have not yet drilled holes into any of these containers. As they are clear, I can see if there's any water standing inside of them. At that point I can just take out my little drill and drill a hole in them. Same with the buckets. Now this one over here that's going to have the peas, it's already got holes in the bottom of it. I got all of these for $1 a piece, including this one, because it had this little corner chipped on it, so they gave it to me for $1 down there at the Family Dollar store. These right here were $1 each for one of these, and it comes with a little blue lid, which I will in turn turn upside down to use as a catch for any water that may end up coming out of them after I drill holes, which I'm pretty sure I'll eventually have to drill some holes in it. But I'll drill them in the sides near the bottom, and that'll be fine. Each one of these is not very big. This is my hand. Okay. My hand. Okay. They're a little bit bigger than a shoebox, but not much. Now, will they be big enough for things like a broccoli plant or collard green or a cabbage? I'm not sure. It may very well be that these won't be big enough and that the roots will get choked out. But that's okay, because this is me learning how to do it. Okay? Now I used to garden out in a field when I was in Oklahoma. I had really nice gardens, but I don't have room here. And since I've never actually container gardened, I figured, well, we'll make a video on it and let everybody see what's going on. Okay, I put the bigger buckets for the 2 tomato plants I'm going to have, which will be probably more tomatoes than my son and I can eat. Hopefully I'll have enough to where I can maybe chop it up and freeze it. With the collard greens, I'm going to have probably, 3 of those? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 7 empty tubs left. I'm going to have at least 2 broccoli plants, maybe 3. I'll have 1 spinach, maybe 2. And maybe 2 collards, I don't know, maybe 2 cabbages. Cabbage was just something I would like to try. I like cabbage, but I don't know about growing them. I've never actually grown cabbage before. But I've grown peas, and I've grown broccoli, and I've grown tomatoes, and I've grown some spinach and stuff before. I've never actually grown collards. But collards is something you can continue to harvest, okay? Pinch out any tops where the seed head might be coming up and just harvest the leaves as they grow. So you can do that. The same with spinach. You just harvest the leaves as they grow. Don't let the leaves get too big. Of course, with these you have to pinch out any of the little sucker leaves that come up at the joints in order for them to fruit better. Now these 2 tomato plants and the peas are going onto the front porch. Well, it's not really a porch, it's more of like this small landing with stairs going downstairs, because as you can see, I live upstairs. Now, this spot right here doesn't get sun until the afternoon, but in the sun it gets really good, or in the afternoon it gets really good sun, especially during the summer. So I need at least 6 hours of sunlight. I'm pretty sure I can get 4 or 5. We'll have to see. I'm not going to worry too much about the sun right now because they don't even need sun to germinate. Okay? All they need is water and soil. They don't even need soil to germinate. All they need is water. But this is my little small container garden. I get some sun right here in the afternoons as well. I'll put several of these up here. They'll be up right here, okay, to get the sun. If the wind ends up blowing super hard or we get a huge storm, it's quite possible they'll blow them right down here onto the floor. But if I know of a big storm that's coming, I'll put them on this table to keep that from happening. This gets little or no rain inside this porch, even on the edges of the windowsills. There's a big, huge hangover, and I don't know, it just doesn't ever seem to get wet on the porch, even with a really heavy thunderstorm. So I'll have to be sure that I water these quite regularly, probably daily. I will test it with my finger. I'll stick my finger in there. If there's any moisture in there, I'll not water them. If it feels pretty dry like it does now, then I'll add some water. I bought the cheapest potting soil they had at Lowe's. It was like $7 a bag. I mean, they had stuff out there for $15 and $20 a bag. So I bought 2 bags of this. Okay, and then I bought a few seeds. I had a survival seed package coming with all different kinds of hybrid, non-hybrid, non-GMO, things like that. But I got to thinking about it, and why would I want to break that open on a maybe that I can get my container garden started? So I'm going to save those for now, and I'm going to use these other seeds that I picked up to see if it's even going to work without messing up my big seed pack. So it'll all work out in the long run, I'm sure. Let me take you guys. I gotta walk slowly because I know how it is when somebody goes way too fast for turning and panning, and it makes you dizzy. And yes, winter is coming. Okay, that's my son's. Oh, don't look to the right. That's really bad. It's all my son's army stuff. Okay, this is where I'm going to put the tomato plants and the peas. And now there's this railing right here. If I can find some of those planters later that you can hang on the railing, I'll be using that. Okay, and I can hang them on both sides. I can hang them on the far side, and then flip the others around and hang them on this side and have like a double row. This is actually the best spot for any of my plants, and I'll put what I can out here. Okay. Because I already cleared it with the landlord. It's okay to put plants out here. I'm sure she doesn't want it looking like, you know, something from The Walking Dead or nothing, but there is a pretty good sized space right here. It won't get in the way of the walkway. I can put a bunch of plants right here, keep them watered. They'll get sun in the afternoon, because as you can see, there's sun right there right now. And as the sun gets lower, it gets a little bit more, but in the summertime over here gets a lot more sun. This whole wall behind me, let me pan slowly, panning slowly, this whole wall behind me gets beat in with the sun during the summertime. So this right here will be a very, very sunny spot. Okay, let's go back inside. Yeah, I heard you, kitty. I hope you guys can see. It's pretty dark in here because I don't have the lights on. We hadn't been in here that long, so we still got a bunch of boxes and stuff running around. But that's okay. Anyway. Now, they say that with seeds, you bury them about 3 times the depth of the seed. You know, the bigger seeds, you bury a little deeper. The smaller seeds, you don't. I have actually grown tobacco in the past, and you actually sow on top of the sand or dirt, so that, because the seeds are so minuscule that if you didn't, they would never be able to germinate and grow up. So, but this has already got fertilizer in it. Okay, this particular potting soil. I do have some fertilizer spikes and stuff that I got for when they get to growing a little bit, and that way I can give them a little bit of a boost if I think they need it. I say a lot. I said that last video too. Anyway, collard greens, spinach, broccoli, peas, tomatoes, and cabbage. We're going to give those a try. Since it's still late January, I really doubt that some of this stuff is going to germinate right now. If I put the tomatoes, if I start the tomatoes, I'll probably be pulling them in at night. The excuse me, I'm just getting over bronchitis. The cabbage and the spinach and the collards and the peas all like cooler weather. Technically, you can put these collards in the fall, let them start to grow, and they'll overwinter. Spinach likes cool weather. Of course, you guys know broccoli and cabbage, they all like cooler weather as well. Now, the only real crop that I have right here that dislikes cold weather at all would be the tomatoes. So I'll probably be bringing them in at night. It doesn't get super cold here. It's, you know, I can go without a jacket right now. It's really not that bad. I'm thinking it's getting down into the 40s at night. But, you know, it's coming up on February. There could be some storms roll in. So I'll just watch it and be careful. Keep an eye on my stuff. I'll give you an update later as the stuff starts growing or dying. I will give you an update. If I happen to see that it's getting root bound, I'll show you how I change it and repot it. Because at that point I'll have to just get a bigger pot. Because if I got it to the point where they're growing good and they're getting root bound, yeah, I don't want to lose the plant. So at that point I'll just repot it into something larger. Except for maybe the peas. The peas and the tomatoes, they're going to stay in what I put them in. And they're just going to have to live with it. I wish I had about a half a dozen of those. That would be really awesome. But I only got what I got. So, like I've always said, you can only do what you can do. You can only have what you can afford to get. Now, all of this stuff cost me about $50, well, about $40, because there was a couple of shirts in there for my son. So, you know, yeah, will I get $40 worth of vegetables? Maybe not. But I also have these, and these are reusable. That planter's reusable. The buckets are reusable. Now, these are food grade quality buckets. They're like 2.5 gallons, something like that. They were a little bit cheaper than the 5-gallon buckets, but I really didn't think I needed a whole 5-gallon bucket for the tomato plant. Now, if they look like they're getting root bound later, well, maybe I'll change it and put them in a 5-gallon bucket. But until then, no. I am going to watch the water on these. I would rather not drill holes in the bottom. But since I'm home all the time, it's easy for me to monitor stuff like this. I can come out here twice, 3, 4 times a day if I want and mist them to make sure that they're getting enough water. I can come out here, and if I see that they're getting, for some reason the rain does decide to blow in on them, I can move them, get them out of the rain, dump off any excess moisture, okay, and then give them a chance to dry out without drowning. So I'm not super worried about the holes in the bottom, even though that is a concern. I do like the fact that the tubs are clear where I can see if they're getting root bound. On the other hand, the sun may or may not affect the plant's roots. So if it becomes an issue, I'll just take a strip of cardboard, the height of this, right, oops, let me go. I'll take a strip of cardboard about that tall, and then I'll just wrap it around there and tape it, and that way it'll shade the roots. If I notice the plants are looking spindly or they don't look very healthy, and I think that might be the issue, that's what I'll do. So, anyway, I told everybody I would get a video out today on my little small-time container garden. I'm one of those broke people that don't have a whole lot of money, so I have to do what I can do with what money I have, which isn't much. But, like I said, every bite of this is one less bite of food I have to purchase. And, of course, it's healthier than all that canned stuff. And, you know, shtf, you got to learn how to be growing your own food. Now, I'm pretty good at growing, but we're talking, I'm from Oklahoma when I had my garden. Whole different kind of soil, different kind of climate. This is a desert environment, okay? What you see right there is pretty lush compared to what most of this area is. The soil is super alkali out here, okay? It's real hard to grow anything here. It's like all those little trees and shrubs out front there, and they're all set up on a drip system. So that's how they live. But, you know, with a small garden like this, you can't really do a drip system. It's not going to work. And, you know, really, it's really not big enough to deserve a drip system. If anybody has any other suggestions, please keep them helpful. You know, giving me a hard time and dissing me and cutting me down really doesn't help my situation. And all it'll do is make me maybe block you or something. So, and I really don't want to do that. I want everybody to have an input in what they think, okay? Any helpful suggestions you might have, any helpful tips, Please like, comment, and subscribe. Share this with your friends so that I can maybe make my channel grow. And I'll tell you right now, I'm looking to get monetized. So, you know, I'm doing this right now for free, which is fine. Okay, free is fine. But I would like to eventually get monetized if my channel takes off. If it doesn't, well, it doesn't. So, thank you guys for all your time. And please, like I said, like, comment, and subscribe. Share it with your friends. Hit the bell icon if you want to see any updates on this or any of my other videos. I will be putting out more videos. My videos are going to be things like my bug out bag and my gear inside of it. And when I get a vehicle, it's going to be going up to the mountains and doing some bushcrafting. Now, I'm 53 years old, and I'm not in the best of health. So me hiking isn't necessarily going to happen, but I can drive to where I need to go and hike a little ways before it gets to me. So, thank you for your time, and I'm going to finish my filling of the containers, and then I will plant the seeds. Now I'm only going to plant like 2, maybe 3 little broccoli seeds in this. I'm going to plant a scattering of spinach because, you know, I want like at least 4 little spinach plants in here. I'm going to plant 1 collard, 1 cabbage, 1 tomato, 1 tomato, and about 4 or 5 peas through here. That's what I'm going to do on each one of these tubs. So, alright guys, talk to you later.